There are a lot of weak, scary men out there. At least that's how a lot of women feel. That's what a lot of women are saying. They're telling me these men are intimidated. They cannot handle a strong woman. They're all just running for the hills and don't know what they want. But why? Why are men intimidated by you? Well, I'm going to explain to you why, but I'm also going to explain to you that it may be more than just an issue of intimidation. So my name is Stefan Laboussiere, aka Stefan Speaks, your life and relationship coach, here to provide you with dating, life, and relationship advice. Today it's going to be relationship and dating advice for women, all right? And as I said in the beginning, I'm going to explain to you why men are intimidated by you. So before we begin, as always, be sure to like this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel, and give me your feedback. Have you come across a man that was intimidated by you? Tell me yes or no. Tell me your stories. Leave your comments. Tell me why you think men are intimidated. Let's talk. But let's break this whole thing down. And I want to say right now from the jump, you need to watch this to the very end because I have an important message that I have to explain to you in regards to this whole intimidation dynamic. All right? So now, yes. Are there some men who are intimidated by women? This does exist. You know, there are a lot of men who are not walking in their masculine energy, who have not found themselves, found their purpose. And when that's the case, it can be very easy to become intimidated. But again, I want to give you some very specific things to understand why this intimidation is happening. But we're going to be looking at this from two different angles. Because again, there's so much more to this intimidation than just simply men are weak or men don't know what they want or men don't know how to handle a strong woman. All right. So let's get to number one. The first reason why a man may be intimidated by you is because he knows you have better options. Plain and simple, some men who are not confident in who they are, who are not confident in what they bring to the table, are going to feel intimidated or anxious dealing with a woman who they know can do better than them, who they feel like all these men want, all these men are in your DMs or whatever the case may be, and that bothers him. He does not know how to feel secure amongst this kind of attention that you get, which is why, yes, there are some men out there who prefer to find a woman who doesn't get too much attention. They feel safer there. It's easier. Now, listen, this isn't something that you can do anything about. The fact that you have better options than him, all right, and that's better options in the way that he perceives it. Because sometimes, and this happens to both men and women, they don't understand the value that you see in them. Now, in some cases, you flat out have better options and you flat out are dating down. And you're dealing with someone you probably shouldn't be dealing with. So naturally, if you do date down, you can almost expect that some level of intimidation is going to creep in or insecurity is going to keep in because the reality is that, yes, you could be doing a lot better. But other times, it is a matter of insecurity within them that you can't really fix because they have to be able to see themselves in the light that you see them. It's almost like when you see potential in a man, but he doesn't even see that own potential in himself. There's going to be a disconnect, all right? Not that you should be dating potential, but we'll talk about that in a whole nother video. But the point is that yes, him knowing you can do better, him knowing you have better options can intimidate him and can cause that man to self-sabotage, run away, become very toxic, even become very controlling and demeaning because now he's trying to bring you down to a level where he feels like he can now control you because he basically devalued you and now lifted him up in the process, all right? Which is why some men will become very verbally abusive, talk down to you, tell you ain't nothing, all this stuff, because he's trying to make himself feel better. But bottom line is, yes, you having better options is a reason why some men are intimidated by you. The second thing that we can talk about as far as men being intimidated by you is that you're much more accomplished than him. So again, there are a lot of women who are finding success in the workplace, all right? There are a lot more women starting their own businesses. There are a lot more women getting educated. And because of this, there are going to be a lot of scenarios where the woman is more accomplished than the man. And so once again, it kind of all feeds into number one about him feeling like you have better options or that you actually do have better options. When you're more accomplished, that can be a hit to his ego. because he has not accomplished enough in his life, or he has accomplished nothing in his life. All right. And so again, when the issue is your accomplishments, and if you notice, I'm naming things first that you really have no control over. Like, I'm not going to tell you to not be accomplished to make him feel better. All right. There's something else that you could do. We'll talk about that at the end. But you just simply having graduated, having your own business, having achieved so many different things, if that's what you've done, that's what you've done. All right. And a man has to be willing to see past that in regards to not allowing that to affect him, his mindset, and his understanding of his place in your life. All right. There is some self-work that needs to be done in order for him to handle that. Now, let me just also make clear, there are tons of men who don't get intimidated just because you have plenty of options. There are tons of men who don't get intimidated by you being more accomplished. I just want to repeat that in case some of y'all think none of these men can handle this. But no, there are plenty out there. But yes, there are a segment of men that exist that these things will apply to. And again, this isn't something that you can do. I want you to be mindful of it to understand the whole dynamic, but you're accomplished, you're accomplished. It is what it is. You know, you don't have to dumb down your accomplishments, so to speak. But again, keep watching, because I am going to tell you what you can and should do. All right. A third reason why a man may be intimidated by you is you make more money. Now, listen, the discussion of money is it's a sore spot for a lot of guys, because the reality is that society promotes and society says that to a lot of men, you're not worth much if you're not successful, or if you're not financially stable. You know, and I'll be one to admit that I talk to men, or I tell men, you need to find financial stability. Not that I want to say they're not worthy, so to speak. In some ways, yes. In some ways, not worthy in the sense of everyone's worthy of love. Everyone should be treated fairly, all these things. But when we're talking about being in a committed relationship, a committed romantic relationship, there is a level of qualifications that we have to meet. There is a standard we have to meet. And so, yes, you may not be at that standard or level yet. So you got work to do. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But getting back to the main point, yes, having more money can be a sore spot for a lot of men. But also, let me say this, a lot of times it's not simply the fact that you have the more money. It's the PTSD they have from the last woman they dealt with who made more money than them. Now, again, I'll break it down deeper when I get into that main point later on in the video. But essentially, a lot of women, just to kind of give a sneak preview, a lot of women who make that, they know they make more money than that man, don't realize how they talk down to that man. Don't realize how they emasculate that man. Don't realize how they use that to try to control and run things with that man. And that becomes the problem, not the money itself, because there are tons of men out there who would love to join forces with a woman who either makes good money or even makes more money than them. There's a lot of men out there who would have no problem leeching off of you. So trust and believe, the money itself is usually not the issue. All right. But there are men that, yes, the money itself will cause them to start acting funny. They'll start projecting onto you these issues. They'll start being very guarded or on edge because they think you're looking at them a certain kind of way because they don't make as much as you, that they can't live the lifestyle that you live, or they cannot provide you with the lifestyle you currently live. And so now they feel less than. So that does happen. That is an issue. But again, if you're making a lot of money, I'm not going to tell you to give your money away just so you can make a man feel comfortable. All right. That's not the key. But I will tell you what the key is soon. So now let's get to the next one. Now, the last thing before we get into kind of the flip side of why this intimidation is happening is you don't tolerate nonsense. All right. The bottom line is you come across as a no nonsense, I ain't taking nobody's crap type of woman. And that vibe, that energy can be intimidating. It can be like, all right, I don't have any room for error here. I gotta come correct. It's like going to a job interview and you feel like, man, if I don't nail this, I'm not getting this job. And that can get intimidating because you're like, it makes you more on edge, more worried about all the small details rather than just relaxing and being yourself. And so that can happen with a lot of men because they feel like, okay, I really want to make this work, but she looks like she has a short leash, or she doesn't tolerate much. And so, some men may not even try to take that interview, so to speak. They may not even try to walk into your space because, you know what, that seems like I can't handle those standards, those expectations, so on and so forth. So yes, you exuding a woman who doesn't take anyone's crap, again, is going to be intimidating to a lot of men. But let's flip this. Let's get to the other side. Now listen, if you've been agreeing this whole time, all right, don't start getting mad and salty now that I'm going to explain to you the other side of this. I want you to be just as open-minded. I want you to consider what I'm telling you because I'm trying to help you. All right, let me make this very clear. I'm not trying to blame you because I notice whenever I point out things about the woman and what she could be doing differently, some of y'all take it as I'm blaming the women. No, I'm trying to help correct an issue. I'm trying to help you see better success in a certain area, and I'm explaining to you why this happens. And I'm trying to give you perspective, a well-rounded perspective, so that you understand this from as much angles as possible so that, again, you can achieve success. So now, let's get to it. The first thing I'm going to mention, you look mean. Bottom line, you look difficult, you're walking around, you're mean mugging people. If you don't know what mean mugging means, it means you got like a frown on your face, you look hard, or some people would call it resting B face. I don't want to say the word, but it's the B-I-T, you know what, face. And yes, that negative energy you're exuding, it's not even about intimidation. And that's the thing that we're going to be really highlighting here. It's not about intimidation with what I'm about to lay out for you. It's about you come off too negative. And many of you hide behind, oh, they're intimidated because I'm successful. They're intimidated because I have money. They're intimidated because of all these things. No, check your attitude. Check your energy. Check the fact that how mean you're looking. Now, I'm not saying you got to walk around 24/7 with a big old smile on your face looking like you in the circus. All right, that's not what I'm trying to imply, but at the very least, you got to get to a place where you're relaxed, where you're at peace from within, which is good for you, first and foremost, and let that energy shine through you. Let that positivity come out of you. That whole looking mean, it can be fixed. That is correctable. Many of us don't realize how we're coming across. I've had people come to me or actually DM me who said, I saw you in the gym, but I didn't want to approach you because you look mean as hell. And so I can't say, oh, well, no, you're just intimidated by a confident man. No, I got to check myself. You know what? Maybe I am looking a little unapproachable in person. I need to be more mindful of that. So be mindful. Are you looking mean? Because that can be the real problem that you're facing. So now the next thing I'm going to mention, and I kind of just already said it, but I'll reiterate it or repeat it and just emphasize it some more, is you give off too much masculine energy, you have a bad attitude. Bottom line. So whether it's the way that you look mean, whether it's when you speak to people, your energy is attacking them, your spirit. Whether you want to look at energy, spirit, same thing to me. Bottom line is that's coming off of your body in a way that is a deterrent. It is a hindrance to people being able to vibe with you, people being able to want to get to know you. It pushes men away. And so again, a lot of times, and this is especially true for the successful woman, the woman who has money, things of that nature, many times you are operating in the workforce where there's a lot of masculine energy being carried. There's a lot of masculine energy being engaged in, all right? And now when you come home or you enter into engagement with men randomly, you're not turning that switch off. And that hard masculine energy becomes a problem. And so, as I mentioned with the other point, a lot of women hide behind, I'm successful, I'm strong, I'm this, but you don't realize you're intolerable to some people. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, I promise you, but for those of you who are fighting this, consider some of you know women who are essentially going through the same thing, saying men are intimidated, but you don't even like being around that woman. Some of your own mothers fit the description, and you don't want to be bothered with her. Does it mean you're intimidated by your friends? Or does it mean you're intimidated by your mother? No, it means that hard, that negative energy, those things that they're not always mindful of. Because if you ask them, they'll probably say, I'm not negative. I'm not too hard. There's nothing wrong with me. But there is. There absolutely is. And so again, we got to be careful of hiding behind the positive labels of strong woman, successful woman, all these things, and ignoring the bad energy. Now, if you are giving off positive energy, if you're walking in your feminine energy, and I do believe in women tapping into their feminine energy, all right, though some may disagree, I am a huge proponent of it, and I will always push it. If you're doing those things, I'm pretty much certain you're going to see a huge difference. Now, does that mean there won't be some men still intimidated? Of course not. There are some men who, as I mentioned in the very beginning, are simply intimidated by the fact that you have money, success, that you don't tolerate nonsense, things of that nature. But a lot of men, this is what it really boils down to. And so this is the point that I said I had to tell you about. It's not about intimidation, it's that they don't want to deal with you. All right. And again, I say this with love. I don't say this to hurt you, to piss you off, or anything like that. I'm not trying to offend you. I'm trying to keep it as real with you as possible. All right. They do not want to deal with it, especially when we talk about strong masculine men. Because I've heard a lot of women say, well, it'll take a strong man to be with a strong woman. No, a strong man will not tolerate that. A strong man has, or a masculine man, or a successful man, or a great man, he has options. So why would he want to deal with someone who's coming across as difficult? Why would he want to deal with someone who does not want to check her negative energy, or the fact that she's coming across in a very negative way? Like, why is he going to choose that? He's not. He's not. And when he doesn't choose it, it's not because he's not strong himself. It's because he's smart. Again, no disrespect, but he understands that there is no success to be found in that dynamic if someone is going to be carrying around negative energy and hiding behind positive labels to deflect the fact that they're carrying this kind of negative energy. So I know it's very easy and simple to simply say or write it off as men are intimidated. And again, I will repeat one more time. There are men who are intimidated. But what I want you to do, I want you to look at yourself in the mirror, and I want you to check your energy. I want you to check your spirit. I want you to be honest with yourself about how you're coming across. I want you to be honest with yourself about, are you being a difficult person that, hell, even other women don't like being around? Like, what's really going on? Let's get to the root of the issue and not just default to people are intimidated, all right? Because there is a role that we play in changing that dynamic, and we should do the best that we can. Some things not in our control, or some things we should not have to adjust and change. However, the things I mentioned to you are things to look at, are things to change, all right? Are things to improve in your life. And please understand this. Me telling you to make these adjustments isn't simply about getting a man or making men less intimidated or less unwilling to deal with you. It's about you. Your quality of life will increase when you make these changes. You will start to see more opportunities open up for you when you make these changes. Women, kids, whoever, everyone's going to be more drawn to you and enjoy being in your presence when you make these changes. But again, you will be happier. And so now that same mean face, that same resting bee face we talked about earlier, it will naturally start to shift. You will find yourself naturally smiling. Because I always tell people, when you are happy from within, smiling becomes natural. It just happens. You don't even have to try. You just give off a pleasant vibe. So again, I'm giving you all of this to help you first. But yes, the byproduct is you will see even greater success in all areas of your life, as well as with men. So I hope this video really sheds some light on this whole issue of why men are intimidated by you. But again, I want to talk to y'all. Give me your feedback. Let me know what you think. Maybe you think I'm tripping, even though I'm not. But just tell me how you're feeling. Let's talk about it. Let's meet in the comment section, all right? But be sure to like this video, share this video. Make sure you have subscribed to this channel, and keep watching the other videos. I got a lot more videos for you to check out. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.